Hello guys, thank you for being here. Today I will present the chapter 3 about cost behavior. I choose this chapter because it's my favorite. We are taught to know the behavior of something. It's interesting that not only things life have. It's necessary to know before making planning. We have to recognize the expenditures or our costs. It's impossible for us to control something without knowing it first. So this is my profile. We will be talking or looking these three main topics that are cost classifications, resources, activities, cost behavior, and the last is analyzing of cost behavior. By the end of this video, I would like to invite you guys to give some evaluations or questions about my presentation. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoy this video and may this video will be useful for you. We get into the first material that is cost classification, but before it we have to know what cost behavior is. Cost behavior refers to the relationship between total cost and activity level. Based on behavior, costs are categorized or classified as either fixed, variable, or mixed. Fixed costs are those which do not change with the level of activity. Fixed costs are constant regardless of activity level. This cost will be incurred even if no units are produced. For example, rent expense. Fixed cost per unit decreases with increase in production. This graphic will show us the total fixed cost will be like this and the fixed cost per unit will be like this based on this case. The next cost is variable cost. Variable costs change in direct proportion to the level of production. This means that total variable costs increase when more units produced and decrease when less units are produced. The average variable cost per unit is constant. This total variable cost will have graphic like this, while the variable cost per unit will constant and have a graphic like this. This is based on this case. Well, the third is mixed cost. Mixed costs or semi-variable costs have properties of both fixed and variable costs due to the presence of both variable and fixed components in them. An example of mixed cost is telephone, because it usually consists of fixed components such as line rent and fixed subscription change, as well as variable cost change per unit. All I have said before can be summarized as follows, and we can compare fixed cost, variable cost, and mixed cost here. The total cost of fixed cost will be constant while variable costs change proportionally with output, and the mixed cost will change with output but not proportionately. Cost per unit with fixed cost decrease with increase in output, while variable cost will be constant and mixed cost decrease with increase in output but less than decrease in fixed cost per unit. The example of this each cost is like this. We will get into the relevant range. The relevant range of activity for a fixed cost is the range of activity over which the graph of the cost is flat like this. Fixed cost, for example, fixed cost and the relevant range. For example, assume a space is available at a rental range of 30,000 per year in increments of 1,000 square feet. This means that fixed cost would increase in step function at a rate of 30,000 for each additional 1,000 square feet. And the linearity assumption and the relevant range variable cost. A straight line closely approximates a curved linear variable cost line within the relevant range. This is the relevant range of variable cost. So we will continue to the second material about resources, activities, and cost behavior. Resources are source or supply from which benefit is produced and that has some utility. It makes company can do its activities. Consists of the step cost. The step cost here is the cost that is constant or that doesn't change steadily with change in activity volume, but rather at discrete points. This is the true variable cost. The amount of the true variable cost used during the period varies in direct proportion to the activity level. This is the example and the graphic we can see. The next is step variable cost is a resource that is obtainable only in large chunks and whose costs change only in response to fairly wide change in activity. This is small change in the level of production are not likely to have any effect on the number of maintenance worker employed. And the step variable cost in this is shown by this red line. Only fairly wide change in the activity level will cause a change in the number of maintenance workers employed. Committed resources is resources we get without considering whether the resource is fully used or not. It is showed in this committed long term cannot be significantly reduced in the short term. With the example, the next is the discretionary. With the example, this discretionary may be altered in the short term by current managerial decisions. Since mixed cost figures are not useful in their raw form, therefore they are split into the high-low method, scatter graph method, and regression analysis. The first scatter graph method. A regression line is then on graph by visual inspection. I will show you about the procedure. The first is draw scatter graph. Plot the data on scatter graph. Plot the activity level along x-axis and total mixed cost along y-axis. The second is draw regression line. Draw a regression line over the scatter graph by visual inspection and try to minimize the total vertical distance between the line and all the points. Extend the line toward y-axis. And the third is find total fixed cost. Total fixed is given by the y-intercept of the line. Y-intercept is the point at which the line cuts y-axis. The fourth procedure is find variable cost per unit. Variable cost per unit is equal to the slope of the line. Take 2 points, x1 and y1, and x2 and y2 on the line and calculate variable cost using the following formula. This is the formula variable cost per unit. For the example, we can see this and the solutions. Now, number 2 is high-low method. And the second is high-low method. It's one of the several mathematical techniques used in managerial accounting to split a mixed cost into its fixed and variable components. We can see the formulas here, variable cost per unit, that are y2 minus y1 plus x2 minus x1. So here's the example and the solutions. And the last is least squares regression in cost estimations. Least squares method mathematically calculates a line of best to set a data pairs series of activity levels and corresponding total costs at each activity level, assuming the cost varies along y-axis and activity levels along x-axis. The required cost line may be represented in the form of y equals a plus b times x. So here is the formula here, and we are given the example and the solutions here. Okay guys, thank you for watching this video. If I have done any mistaken, please forgive me. I will improve myself in other occasion. Thank you.